Dave's banjo, I have to say, styles. He basically had two banjo styles. One was picking and one was knocking or rapping, they called it. And if you've ever heard him do his recording of Going Across the Sea, he starts out and he picks the looping on the banjo, three-finger style, and he says, "Now that was banjo picking. Here's some old-time Tennessee banjo rapping." And then he proceeds to rap the banjo. He gives us a workshop right on there on 70 RPM rapping track as well. Basically, his rapping tended to be very percussive and followed the phrases or the emphasis of the vocal that he was doing when he would rap the banjo. When he picked the banjo, it was based on minstrel style at the beginning, or when he first started recording. He seemed to do a lot of minstrel tunes. Later on, he went into some more arpeggiated things, and a lot of his picking worked from what I call thumb lead. And I'm telling you these things now at the beginning because what I'm going to do is play you some things on the recording. But his banjo rapping tended to be, well, I'll point it out when we play it. But his three-finger playing was what I call thumb lead. And sometimes he'd make it complicated. I'll actually teach you that thing later on. What I want you to do is to be able to catch all this by listening. And to get the feeling for his style, you have to listen and listen and listen and listen some more to help you get to understand the language. It's just like learning how to talk or like learning a foreign language. And so I urge you to get at least a couple of CDs of Uncle Dave's music. And there's several on County label. My favorite is the Bear Family boxed set. And if you have $225, that's a great place to hear everything that he did. And I was first in line when it came out. And you can get those through County Records. I'm sure that Elderly would have them too. But if you're going to learn any of Uncle Dave Macon's songs, you've got to listen a whole lot, and you should have at least two of his records on either County. There's one from the Country Music Hall of Fame too, which is good. They're all good, depending on what your commitment is going to be to Uncle Dave. He was born in the 1870s, brought up on a combination of players of Middle Tennessee, now Nashville, learning from both minstrel players, that is, people who are on stage, and undoubtedly from the white and black players that were in that area, from the 1880s onward, or 1870s onward, because that's when he was born, 1870s. He started recording in the 1920s. That's about when he became a professional. He did other kinds of jobs. He ran a wagoning company. And he, in doing so, he would also entertain as he'd go from place to place. I'm sure that he was not just a wagoner, because it is true with a lot of Southern life. Southern life has a lot of character, talking, just enjoyment of life, and a real appreciation of self-made music. Let's see. I made myself some notes so that I wouldn't forget everything. At the top of my list of things to say is listen, listen, listen. It's music. I hope you enjoy the music. And I assume that that's why you're wanting to learn it, because it appeals to you. Okay, here we go. What I'd like to do is start out by playing you a couple of pieces in his clawhammer style, and then I'd like to just show you how he did one of the pieces briefly, and then teach you how he did another one, just the outline of it, so you can get a handle on it. Then what I'm going to do is to play you a little bit of one of his picking pieces, and try to get you to do one of his licks there, so you can get a handle on some of that fast triplet playing that he did on some of his slower picking pieces, because you can get that. It's just, I think I can demystify it for you enough so that you can hear what's going on and have a handle on then figuring out how to get it for yourself. Before I do that, I'd like to add that how many of you are fairly computer savvy? Well, on the web are several slowdown units that you can use with CDs, so that you can slow the pace of it down without affecting the pitch, and you can tune it to your banjo because you can adjust the pitch as well, and so that you could slow it down. So if you're not fast, if your ears aren't fast, and mine aren't, I find it incredibly helpful to use these. I use the amazing slowdowner. It costs $50. There may be cheap ones, and you can try it out for nothing if you want, just to see what it's like. There are others, and perhaps you can look for those. But the amazing slowdowner is the one that I use, and it's one of the pioneers. The important thing when you're using those is then when you're every now and then to play it up to speed so you get the sense of the music. Don't forget the music, because you can sometimes hear things that aren't there, both when it's slow and when it's fast. You need the sense of the music at its own speed. So you just slip your CD into the computer and then use one of these slow down units.
Like Windows Media Player, doesn't it?
Pardon?
Windows Media Player that comes with Windows, doesn't it?
Oh, okay.
But you have to convert it to MP3s, and then you can slow it down, and it doesn't change the pitch. So
Well,
for free you get that.
It's depending on whether you use it. Is that just for MP3 or is it for CD?
Well, you would convert your tune from CD to MP3.
Oh, I see.
That's what I've been using. First step.
That's beyond me because I don't know how to convert to MP3. And I use a Mac, so it may be in GarageBand. I don't know it. But there's a variety of them. That's why I was saying that there are a variety of them. Look around on your computer. You may have it already. First off, I'd like to play you just a little bit of railroading and gambling. And he's obviously rapping here. And what I'm interested in showing is this. First of all, he's playing it in open C. It's an open C chord. And so you can think of what he's doing. be a kind of a more ordinary clawhammer. He's just playing, really, he's insinuating that there's something else going on, but not much else is. And he's using fifth string for one of the notes. And also he's hitting some things pretty hard. So there's a little bit of an idea of what's going on here. And I'll play maybe half of it. Let's see. I'm new to this machine. Just to continue that thought into another, keep my skin too loose. So when I drive 500 miles like I have over the past couple of days. Any questions about that piece? Except the words. We don't really know what the words are. I know what most of them are, but it's railroading, gambling, picking up chickens for a mammy, Lord, Lord, Lord.
Picking up chickens for a mammy.
I know that's what they say, but it's not what it is said.
Well, is it bad men or bad men?
No, it's somebody had a flight of imagination. No, it isn't that. In the book, you're talking about the book?
Well, no, I'm talking about just my ear says, that's...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we just have a different way of listening to it.
Well, it's not all that clear.
I hear an mammy at the end there. Can you listen to it again?
Pick it up.
Okay. Let's listen once more. Let's see.
Chips. Chips.
Cars on the roadside, cars on the track, spend all my money, no baby back. Hurry, road and gambling, picking up Superman.
Take your feet out the mud, stick them in the sand.
What do you think he's saying there?
Pick the lead out, Sam. You get in the mud.
Take your feet out the... Stick your feet in the mud, take them out the sand, something like that.
I heard something like that, but I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
Take the feet out and shake it inside.
Yeah, I think that's what I think it is. Or it could be something that's a little off color, but I don't really know. But you can. The thing is that you can put in what you want to there, and then we can have long talks about. No, that's not what it is. I mean, it's almost as much as the Bible. I didn't mean to be harsh with you.
No, that's okay. Here's what you hear.
Everybody believes what they believe.
Spend a little time in Tennessee, you might get a different idea.
Yeah. The reason I thought that was picking up railroading and gambling. Along with that, you'd be picking up stealing chickens, or your sweetie, or your mother, or whatever.
But if you're gambling, you'd be picking up chips from Dad.
I just don't think that's in the. I don't think that's in the lexicon, in the vernacular. Is my idea.
Picking up chips from Dad, man.
Well, it could be. He could be mad because he lost. He lost his chips. We're talking poker chips, I would assume,
Good idea.
if it's chips.
What if it's cow chips?
Well, that doesn't tie into the gambling,
That would
though.
make you mad.
But you're right. We can spend a week discussing this and not come to an agreement.
And furthermore, it should be part of English class
Yeah.
or American Studies. No, it should be American Studies. Okay, well, I wanted to... This next piece is, well, you can understand almost everything that's going on here. And this is the one piece of these that I can kind of play. I don't play that one very much, so I don't know if that will. This is Johnny Gray. And it's, oh, by the way, this is not in open C. This is in just kind of what some people call classical C. It's tuned. This is, as far as I used to call this C tuning. No, it's G tuning on the first three strings, and then a dropped bass.
Drop the C.
Oh, I thought
That dropped to a C.
Well, I thought that was... I'm wrong, because I think that is the classical.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And that's what I don't know what to call it, because people say now C tuning, you know, that's double C or that's open C or whatever. After a while, you know, there are so many different ways of playing that there's also different ways of talking about it all. But, so Johnny Gray kind of goes like this. I want you to listen to this all the way through, though, and then we'll work on it.
Johnny Gray, the state where Johnny Gray was born was Pennsylvania. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in Tahoe, oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh. Johnny fell in love with a nice young girl. The name of her most positive was Lucy and her curl. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in Tahoe. Oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh. When Johnny asked her father, he said no, and brutally sent her beyond the Ohio. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the morning. the fishy straight they went to bed, and never did get up from there until she died. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the home, oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh.
It's one of the best banjo fiddle duets there ever was. And as you noticed, he emphasized the starts of the phrases and also at the end of the phrases and various other places where it really added to not making it just a business as usual level thing. We tend to play that way now, almost all of us, myself included, tend not to emphasize things like that. I don't know if it has to do with rock and roll, which has no dynamic range, as far as I'm concerned. I think Merle Haggard said it once, they act like they're on an 8-hour shift. Rock and roll people. But I think that's something, if you can get some of that, I think you'll have a lot of that home entertainment and entertainment of people by having a dynamic range to your singing and to your playing. So you're not just going like this exactly, but going like this, talking with more expression, which is what he did, and I don't, naturally. Okay, I'm going to tune to you all. I assume most of y'all are on in standard pitch, and I'm not. Oh, another thing. Uncle Dave played banjos that are something like this. This is a cheap version of what he played. But up in the late 19th century, to some extent, at least that's what pictures were taken of him from his early time with banjos that were, the metal-clad type. This is a cheap supertone from Sears Roebuck in the 1910s, I think. And this isn't Mother of Pearl, it's Mother of Celluloid. What he played later was more like this banjo, which is a predecessor to the Gibson trapdoor and Gibson master tones. In that there's a stretcher band around the outside here, instead of having the brackets go through. Because in the beginning they were hollow. This is hollow inside. So you couldn't have them go through. You had to have something around the outside to run the brackets through. And this is what the early flathead the early master tones used, too. Okay, let me tune to you. Everybody in G? Except for your bass string, which is down to a C. Let's do everybody do a G. Just only a G string right now. Okay, how about the fifth string? And how about that bass string?
Videotape would you prefer not?
If you just set it and let it run,
Okay.
that's okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I don't know that I'll remain in the same place all the time.
Don't worry about it.
While he's setting that up, let me mention that I have a 2-CD anthology of banjo styles, from early African American styles up to Earl Scruggs' early three-finger playing. It has most of the different kinds of styles that I perceive anyway. And if anybody wants to copy this, it's all bootleg material. I haven't asked any permission of anybody, but I do have notes to go with it that explains each piece and why I have it on there, trying to say what it is. If one person wants to take over copying this and the notes, I'd be happy to make it available to you as long as I can get it back at the end of the session. So that's up to somebody for you to arrange amongst yourselves. I have the notes here. Yes, sir.
I don't have any CDs, but there's a computer lab down the hall.
If you can, that's up to you all, and you can buttonhole me, or if you want to meet in a corner here at the end and figure out your own organization. You're welcome to do it. I don't know of any other way to do it because I didn't want to be running them off at home one by one, but when I didn't know how many people wanted. And then there are the notes, which are about 7-page single space. Okay. Okay, this is knock-in, and I usually knock with my first finger, but you can use your middle finger if you want. That's perfectly all right. Some people knock with one and then brush with another. It's okay too. Just whatever works. I find that you get a different sound out of those two fingers, and I've heard traditional players do both. So here's the lick I'd like you to get first. And you put this string in between two of those notes. Do it all in time, okay? Let me see if I can figure out a good one for us to do here. I want you, when you're strumming, to have the C chord, which is this chord. So watch me once more with that new information. Between two of the notes. In other words, between this note and this, you add this string. Okay, wait a minute. Let me do it a couple times.
But Johnny Green, the state where Johnny Green was born was Pennsylvania. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the home, oh, you in the morning, oh.
I can't really hear this string used in there at all. Not till it gets going. So maybe we ought to just, that's an option. So far what we have now is this lick. And he does that twice, so that's all you have to do. Let's see if we can all do that whole high part without having to take it phrase by phrase. So it goes. I'm hitting as many off notes as he did. So it goes like this, starting on the second string, and then to the first string. Let's try that over and over again a few times, but do it with me, okay? And it doesn't make any difference if you don't get every single note every time. As you go on and on, you'll be able to get it gradually, as long as we do it slow enough. So let's try not to be like usual banjo players and gain speed out of anxiety. All right, here we go. Let me do it once and then fall in with me. And I'll try to do it right once. Descending part there. It's the first string, second fret, then the first string with your second fret, and then the first string open, then the second string on the first fret, and then directly to the third string, second fret. third string open, and then just descend on that fourth string, starting at the fifth fret. I'll do that once more slowly for you, but listen to me do it, okay? I'll do it once more. Wait for me, though. Let's try it all together now. Wait for me to do it so we get into the rhythm together. Wait a minute. I missed it. It's on Go Long Mule? Yeah. That's county, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Less than $15.
Yeah.
And I'll bet that they have some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think that elderly will have some of these?
No, yeah.
Get them. Order them. Let's see.
With a nice young girl, the name of her most father to a Lucy's ring and her curl. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the home, oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh. Well, he asked her father, he said no, and brutally sent her beyond the Ohio. Oh, you in the oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh. John went out and with the trade, and it was another thing, that soon he found himself in just as cheap as he dying. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh.
It'd be interesting the way he just kind of, the banjo's hardly there when he's singing, except on the chorus where he plays the part that he's been learning. Sir.
No, I'm watching the dance today.
Come on in.
Well, no, I have to make my rounds.
Okay.
Pretend I'm not here.
Listen to the banjo.
When Lisa heard of Fishy's they went to bed, and never did get up from there until she died. Oh, you in the morning, oh, you in the home, oh, you in the morning, oh, oh, oh.
It would be somewhat distracting if you were trying to play the melody or play the banjo loudly, and he has all of the emphasis on the words that way. He learned to entertain 50 years before this. He was about 65 probably here. It's just beginning to go. Oh no, actually this is in the 1930s, I thought.
This was 27.
It is 27?
I'm ready.
Oh, well, So that is just as he was becoming a profession. Entertainer. Any questions about this before we move on? I know this is once over lightly, but I hope that I hit some of the high spots there. Does anybody have anything to add? Because sometimes you all will notice things that I haven't. I mean, I've been listening to this for 45 years, but I still find it.
When he is singing and he's barely playing at all, he's still maintaining a really high energy with whatever's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow he's reduced the volume to such an extent that it fades all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips on how to achieve that?
To me, a lot of it has to do with the energy of his voice, which is what you're listening to there, to such an extent that you're not supposed to listen to the banjo very much. The banjo's continuing to go.
Yeah.
But it's like he's trading leads. You know, first the voice, then the instrument, then the voice, then the instrument. And then, of course, on the chorus, he plays that part that we've been just learning here, with a great emphasis on certain words. Blow, blow, blow. He does that by hitting it pretty doggone hard. He was, from what the pictures are, I never saw them. I met a bunch of people who did, but he was a stout guy, and I'm sure he had plenty working hands, being a waggoner.
That's, the accent, I wonder if you heard that from shape notes. That's a very important part of shape notes. You can see those accents. Just sort of drive it along.
That's possible. I think that this is my belief. In my opinion, a lot of old-time people, for sure in the South, had a dynamic range to their. A lot of people did have a dynamic range to their singing, just like as he does here. And certainly that's the biggest difference between modern shape, or one of the big differences between modern shape note singing and the older folks, is that they have a wide. They really emphasize certain notes, certain words and notes. I don't like to use the word notes because it means you're on that note, but we know what.
Clear what you're saying.
Oh, yes, sir.
I just had a quick question, Mike, about you pointed out the banjo fiddle duet at the end, which I agree, that's like the coolest thing I ever heard in my life. How often did Uncle Dave play in like a string band context or with a fiddler? I know he had the band, the Fruit Jar Drinkers. How often was he playing in that kind of, like in dances and stuff?
I have no idea. In the book that comes with that Bear Family set, that's the best biography of Uncle Dave that I know of. And that might give some idea. But, he would have played with all kinds of people all over the place, is my belief. And he didn't just bring those guys in from Mars. He met the McGees, in the early 20s, I think. And so that's guitar and banjo. And he knew those fiddlers, I think, for a while. Uncle Dave did some solo stuff, and that style of playing would have gone more into the band style, although he did play some finger picking style. And I thought I'd play you brief pieces out of several of the different styles that different times that he played his 3 or 4 finger. I'm not sure. I don't know how he played, but I know that you can practically do it with thumb and 2 fingers. And this is a piece in 2/4, a piece in 3/4, and a piece in 6/8 that he played with his finger picking style. And then I hope that we'll have time to learn a little bit, at least one of the licks from the piece in 2/4. Oh no, I'm going to start with something in waltz time. And listen to the words. The words are nice vaudeville, if there is such a thing. Excuse me, folks. It'll be in 6/8 to start with, I guess.
For a coffee goes on
Here
your
it is.
window, don't I see? For goodness sake, don't say I told you. And if you are patient, I'll get through this week. For goodness sake, don't say I told you. I've taken great trouble this song to rehearse, but I do not improve. I'm afraid I get worse. So if you don't like it, I'll sing you another verse. For goodness sake, don't say I told you. For acting when young, I had a terrible read. For goodness sake, don't say I told you. And determined to go on the regular speed. For goodness sake, don't say I told you. When the talents I thought that I'd make a start, I was sure the first night the whole world would be there. And to open the door to a rush of cold air. For goodness sake, don't say I told you.
Just to show what I think we was doing, I think I can do it. It's this kind of lick. And we'll get that after a while. It's just kind of doubling up on that second string. Here's in 6/8, just out of, just to show you a different time that people in the South don't use anymore. It died out with Uncle Dave and a few other people.
As you on the road to reach, on the streets and on the stage, on the things I sure and now will go round. So just give me one good chance, and I'll show you where the plans that we need a change in business all around.
In a way, to me, that's an illustration of why 6/8 didn't continue. In that it's just not as rhythmic, doesn't fit the banjo as well. And they basically just played the melodies that went along, which is a common thing to do in Southern music anyways, to play the melody. But anyway, that's in jig time. This piece is, what time do we have to quit here?
3:45.
3:45. I think we have just time to do this next piece. Because I want you all to be able to get this.
Listen, folks, I'll tell you, the liquor business is in worse shape than it ever was. Listen, in every heart there burns a flame from the love story of the dreaded king. But oh, how happy we'd be if we understood there's no safety but in doing good. People out west heard that John Henry dead, could hardly stay in bed. One day morning on the eastbound train, oh, word John Henry is dead. Oh, word John Henry is dead. Dragged John Henry to the graveyard and looked at him good and long. Very last word to the wife said to him, my husband is dead and gone. My husband is dead and gone. John Henry's wife wore a brand new dress. It was all trimmed in blue. Very last word she said to him, honey, I've been good to you. Honey, I've been good to you. John Henry told a shaker, Lord, a shake while I sing. Pulling a hammer from my shoulder, I'm bound to heroin she ring. Bound to heroin she ring. John Henry told his captain, I am a Tennessee man. Before I would see that seemed to beat me down, die with a hammer in my hand. Die with a hammer in my hand. John Henry hammered in the mountain till the hammer caught on fire. Very last words I heard him say, cool drink of water before I die. Cool drink of water before I die.
That style of playing has more to do with what I like to call thumb lead. It's two-finger playing, and I think he was probably tuned up into pretty high there, wasn't he? Somewhere around. Does anybody remember what key that was in?
Sounded like B.
E?
B.
B. I think you're right. I thought it was B flat, but it's probably B. So that means he probably tuned the doggone thing up that high. Those guys didn't use capos, or at least the old-time banjo players I've met, I never saw one who used a capo. And Ola Bell Reed certifiably tuned up to B sometimes.
From C to B?
From G to B.
Oh, okay.
So you're up 4 frets.
Yeah, that's right.
So just so you don't get confused if you're trying to learn that, you want to crank it down on your slow downer. Now, everybody raise up your bass string for D. Try this a couple of times, just this one leg. Listen to me do it a couple of times. Because I'm going to show you a bare bones way of doing it without an extra lick that he puts in there. You've got a challenge there. That's good though. Now here's in a way what he's doing. Just try doing this basic lick now. Just and watch me do it once to start with. It's thumb on the third string, and these are just open notes. Thumb on the first string, first finger on the first string, thumb on the fifth string, and first finger on the first string. And here's how it looks and sounds. Listen to me do it first before you go. Listen to me do it a couple more times before you do it. Okay, now. Some way on the string, and your first finger or second finger come up directly rather than sideways. So that's the way Ralph Stanley and Earl Scruggs play when they're picking. That's the way Segovia's students tell you to play the classical guitar. So I think there's some reason to it. To pick perpendicular to the string rather than parallel to the string is a good way of trying to set it into motion. So that's what you want to strive for. I don't always hit it, but that's something. Watch, and you can often get much better tone that way. So let's go back to what we were just doing once more. Now that's a slide from the second to the third fret on the third string. Instead of having that string open, you're doing this. What's best for you. In general, I like to keep one finger to a note in the scale, kind of like this. But search out your own way. Just know that you have probably a little more strength in your second finger, and when you're hitting these notes, quite often you need the strength to do a good hammer on, which is it's half of frailing the banjo. You got to have pull-offs and hammer-ons. because you can't get the claw hammer to do everything without those. You're picking actually with your right hand and your left hand. So that's why I use my second finger, because I have strength in it. You may have more in your first, but I want to kind of point these things out as we go along. Now,
Were you sliding up to the third fret or the fourth fret?
I'm sliding to the third fret. Some people slide to the fourth fret, and we can listen to this and see what we think he's doing. I watched Earl Scruggs, and he's one of my favorite traditional banjo players. He used a lot of the old notes in his creation of that style. And I think he used this note a lot, because then you have this note here, you see. And you will have that note very quickly, is what I'm going to show you. Because I'm going to basically get you to do a little extra thing here. Now, I'm going to try to slow this down. This is a very, very hard thing to do, for me to show you how to do. This is what he's doing, I think. Okay, so let me see if I can put this into a handleable thing for you. Maybe just try that much of it. Now, this is not what I was doing before. Let me tell you what the order of strings here is. You're sliding using your thumb on that third string slide, but you're playing the second string with your first finger, and then your first string with your second finger, and then doing a quick roll on up to the fifth string. Here it is. But listen to me and watch. Excuse me. That's a common Earl Scruggs lick, but the way that it turns out here, it's not going to be Earl Scruggs. Okay, so it's a quick... Let's try that all together now, but in this rhythm. Much into that rhythm, because that's not the way it's going to end up. So you're adding these two licks here. What I've just shown you is this. Second string, first finger. First string, second finger. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, okay. First finger, second finger, thumb. Not sure how well I'm doing. This is very hard for me to show, because it's something that I just do. Okay. So here's what I think that lick is when it's all integrated. Okay, let's put it together with a little bit more of that phrase. Here's how it goes when you put it all together. Because the timing is not just what I showed you, but the order of the fingers is. Okay? Let me do it slowly a couple of times in the timing that it's supposed to be. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, that's right. Actually, the timing is weird. Let me get the timing right. I had the timing wrong. Yeah, that's okay. I'm with it. I'm a little troubled by this. I think that is right. Folks, I've never tried to teach this lick before. I studied on it a while up in my room to try to take it apart for you. And I think the tricky thing is the timing of it. I think you've got I've shown you roughly what your fingers are doing, but the timing is a little weird. I've shown the finger moving right to you, but not the rhythm. And it's hard to slow down. I'm going to have to just leave you. I'm going to have to leave you with me doing it a few times, and I'd like to show you the break that he does. Because that mystified me for a little while, and listening to it carefully on my slow downer, I think I was doing it right from the start. I just wasn't sure. And you slide 3 times. I hope that's at least just a way in for you all. If you can understand and sometimes, I'll show you one thing he does on the 5th string sometimes. It's the same rhythm. Just try it.
First, second,
It's thumb first. I suggest that I may not be doing it exactly as he does because some of those guys, they played with thumb and 3 fingers. I'm just getting it as close as I think he most likely played most of the time with thumb and 2 fingers. But I don't really know. Clark Bueling is another specialist in Uncle Dave Macon. He probably has a different take. In fact, I know he does on some of these things. So if he has a session in Uncle Dave Macon, go to him too. But mostly, listen and listen. That'll help. The most important thing is not to get every lick just like Uncle Dave, but to get the flavor of it, because that's what attracts me to it, and I think it's what attracts you as well as his songs. He has a tremendous number of wonderful songs, some of which I have on this tape, but we'll save that for another time. Hope I've helped you a little bit.
Thank you.